Hi everyone, welcome to Joe and Carrie Make Stuff. I'm Carrie and this is my little sister Bobby Joe. She usually goes by Joe. And today we are going to try a recipe we found for air dry clay. She's very excited about it, and so am I. This is not a recipe that we've tried before, so we're not really sure how things will go. You'll come along on the journey with us, hopefully. I just found this recipe on a WikiHow, and of course I will link that in the description below. So it's a very simple recipe, apparently. All we need is baking soda, cornstarch, water, and some heat. And a Bobby Joe, of course, is very helpful in making things, right? She wants a measuring cup. I've got the measuring cup set up over here on her work table. We've already measured out our 3 ingredients, and she is going to be doing the pouring and the mixing. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get going here, girly. All right. So she is going to need a pan, and I'm going to put your pan over here on your work table. And a whisk. There's your whisk. She's saying Bert, that's our uncle. She wants to show him that we are making stuff today. All right, here's your pan right here. Can you check? You good? Okay, so let's put the whisk in the pan, and we're going to do the pouring. So just drop that for right now. Okay, just so we're ready. Okay? All right, the recipe calls for 1 cup of cornstarch. So, Bobby Joe, it's your job. Put that cornstarch in the pot.
Daddy.
Put the cornstarch in the pot. So, by the way, I am Bobby Joe's big sister, Carrie. I'm her full-time caregiver. As you can see, she's got some challenges in life, but that doesn't stop us from trying to make stuff. Let's shake that out really well in there. Yes, we're gonna dump the cup out. Smart girl. I'm just gonna sneak behind you and put that on our tray. No, we've got to add our baking soda. The next ingredient in our recipe is 2 cups of baking soda, and I've got that in this one. Ready? You gotta pour it, girl. Sometimes Bobby Joe gets too excited. She can't really make Okay, I'm just helping her find the handle here. One of Bobby Joe's challenges is being able to see and do things at the same time. Right, Joe? Okay, so the first step is to incorporate your dry ingredients together. So we're going to let Bobby Joe whisk those together. We're going to try to break up all the clumps in the recipe. I'm going to hold the pan for her, and you're going to whisk it around. I think you're just pushing it. Are you stirring? Here, let me help you. Yes, baby. All right, let's whiskey all the way around. It says we want that to be clump free, so I'm just going to kind of poke around here. I know there were some clumps in my baking soda for sure. Okay, Bobby Joe, can I borrow this pan so I can show him? Yeah, thank you. She's very helpful like that. All right, so we are just going to whisk these dry ingredients together. My burner is off at the moment. I'm just using it as a table, basically. It's throwing some dust at me. That's all right. Oh, one of the instructions was to use an old pan. This is, I don't know how old, but old enough that we don't care if we ruin it with our making stuff. Okay, I'm a little messy. Making a mess because I want to break up those clumps of baking soda in there. Baking soda and cornstarch. Okay, and the next thing we need to do is add water. Would you like to add the water?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. I'm going to give Bobby Joe the pan back here. And we are adding 1.5 cups of water. Measuring cups, yeah. We're not going to toss it out. We're going to pour it in. The instructions on the WikiHow recipe did not say whether or not we needed to incorporate it slowly. So we're going to go for it all at once and see what happens. Ready? You got to stir it up? I'll hold it for you. Oh. Oh, Joe. Okay, well, I think I'm going to help you with this stirring, all right? We got some mixture on our table. That's okay. So it says we want to stir these ingredients together until they're smooth. And then we are going to heat it on medium heat until it gets really thick to where we can't stir it and it starts to bubble. The recipe I found says it takes about 5 minutes. We'll test that out and see. So you want to, let me turn my burner on here to medium heat. You want to stir continuously, don't stop. Otherwise it will get stuck to the bottom of your pan. I would let Bobby Joe do this part, but a little tricky with her near heat. So we're just going to be stirring here, and I will come back when our mixture is thick enough to have something to show you. All right, we're coming up close to our 5-minute mark, and I'm still seeing that it's quite watery. It's not thick at all yet. And that might be a function of my burner not having been heated prior to our mixing here. It might just not be ready yet. We don't know because we haven't tried this recipe before. So I'm going to keep mixing until it gets thicker and starts bubbling. And I'll meet you guys back here when I think we're ready to move to the next step. I'll let you know about how long that is once we're finished. All right. It's been about 8 minutes of mixing, and I'm starting to see some bubbles forming in our mixture. I'm not feeling it thicken up just quite yet, so I'm going to go ahead and keep mixing. All right, we're coming up just to about the 10-minute mark of stirring here, and I'm seeing quite a bit of frothing in our pot. But again, I'm not really feeling it thicken up. The recipe that I found online had said that you would basically not be able to move the whisk or spoon around anymore. So I guess I'll just keep going. We're about 15 minutes in, I would say, to whisking, and it's definitely starting to get thicker now. I can feel it for sure. Oh, yeah. One of the tines on my whisk just broke. I'm going to keep going because it's almost to the point where I can't stir it anymore. Don't worry about my whisk. It was very cheap. We use it mostly just for crafting projects. I try to keep my crafting cookware separate from my everyday cookware, but you know, I'm not much of a cook, so mostly if you come to my house, you're going to find crafting stuff and not cooking stuff, right, Joe? Oh, yeah. It's getting so, it's almost the texture right now, I would say, of about like a shaving cream, probably. It's very thick and getting difficult to move. So this is encouraging because at first I was getting a little nervous that we wouldn't thicken up. So I'm starting to think maybe the reason why mine took so long is because my hot plate hadn't been heated prior to us starting to mix. So if you're doing this on a stove, I would suggest maybe go ahead and turn it on before you start mixing your dry and wet ingredients together. That might help you get through it in that closer to 5-minute time period. Oh, it's definitely getting thick here. So soon we're going to be moving it off of the heat. We're going to have it cool down completely before we start to work with it anymore.
Heat.
The heat. Okay. I think we are ready to, oh gosh. I should have waited until I took it off of the burner probably to do that. This is half the fun of making, is Bobby Joe just laughing at me for making a mess. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that from the heat. This burner over here is cool. And let me just turn this off. Yeah, I'm making a mess. Oh, goodness gracious. Is that too funny? Here, is that in front of your face? Okay, so now, while that's cooling, it said to use a damp cloth just to kind of keep the moisture in your pot. So I'm just going to cover that with a damp cloth. So we're going to come back when this is completely cool, and we'll show you the next step. Okay? We're back after just about an hour of letting our air dry clay mixture cool. It got cool enough to the point where I felt safe moving it to another bowl, and I did go ahead and just keep it covered with our damp cloth there. And now our next step is to knead it together. So Bobby Joe, would you like to help with the kneading?
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, so let's move this over to her work table here.
Yeah.
All right, stick your hand in there.
Name.
She wants to know the name. We're on YouTube, babe. I'm gonna grab you a handful and we're gonna squeeze it together. Here, watch me. Yep, like that. Perfect. Grab a big handful and squeeze it. She wants to tell all of our family members that we are squeezing. Do you like touching it or no?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Wow. Here, how about you have a ball? And I'm going to move this bowl. You can do it on the table here. You can do it right there on the table. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to move this down here just so that you guys can see. So it feels really good, actually. I'm enjoying it quite a lot, touching it. It's kind of fluffy and soft. What do you think? Do you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the recipe said that it would take anywhere from 24 to 48 hours to dry completely after you've modeled something with it. I imagine that you could probably keep it soft, not dry it out if you wanted to, by wrapping some plastic wrap, like saran wrap or whatever, around there, and then sticking it in a freezer bag or a Ziploc bag. That might keep it moist enough that you could work with it more than once. But of course, if you wanted to just air dry, just leave it out. So I assume that the humidity and moisture in the air is going to affect the drying time. We're in Denver and it's not very humid here at all. So I expect it to dry quicker than if I were in like Florida or somewhere a lot more humid. So our plan for this clay, or mine at least, I don't know about Bobby Joe, aside from just playing with it, because it feels really good actually. I'm enjoying it quite a lot. And my hands are a little bit doughy, a little bit of dough on there, but not bad at all. I would love to make a little fairy village. Do you want to make a fairy village?
Yeah.
So I'm envisioning like little toadstool mushrooms and little houses and maybe a little river. So this clay says that you can paint it after it dries. You could, of course, add food coloring directly to the clay. So I thought we might test that out. So I just brought some red food coloring because that's Bobby Joe's favorite color. You want to put some color in?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do the whole mix of clay in case we want to change the color. But I'll just grab a decent sized ball here. And I'm going to squeeze just a few drops. What was that? Bobby Joe was holding lipstick. And now she is not. What did you do? You have to watch that, girl. Okay, I just squeezed a few drops of my liquid food coloring in here, and I'm gonna knead it around to color the clay. It said in the directions that you could add the coloring directly to the mixture while you were cooking it or before you were cooking it. It's not eye drops, it's food coloring. But I didn't choose to do that because I didn't want to make the whole batch one color. Everything in here is all natural, so this is a great activity to do with kids. You don't have to worry too much if they eat it. Not that I would suggest that. So it's pretty easy. Just baking soda, water, cornstarch. Yeah, so my color is going pretty well here. I could definitely make it more red. I like a pink though. I'm happy with pink. How about you? She thinks this is an eyedropper bottle. You can hold that food coloring if you want. There you go. So we are going to do some modeling. We're crafty, but we're not really artists. But if we do a good job on our fairy village, we'll share it with you. Or if we come up with some other ideas. I do have some resin, and I was kind of thinking I might make like a little resin river in my tiny little fairy village with my cute little, maybe I'll have like pink houses. I don't know. But thank you for joining us on our adventure of trying to make air dry clay. We hope that you enjoyed it. If you have ideas for some things that you'd like us to try to make, we're game. So drop them in the comments below, and if we can come up with the ingredients easy enough, we would love to try them out. So give us some suggestions. What are some things that you'd like to see us try? All right. Thanks, everyone. See you on another video. Bye.